Imagine a land shrouded in ancient forests, where the rhythm of life pulses with the sea is endless whisper and the wild call of deer across misty moors. This is Britain around 4500 BC, a realm of hunter-gatherers who have roamed these islands for millennia since the ice retreated. Small bands of families, perhaps no more than 50 souls in a territory, follow the seasons with quiet ingenuity. They craft delicate microliths from flint to spearfish in shallow rivers, and snare birds in woven nets. Their world is one of mobility, where camps of hide tents spring up near salmon runs or berry thickets, only to vanish like footprints in the tide. Tools of bone and antler, hearths ringed with stones, and middens piled with shells tell their story, harmonious with nature, yet ever on the edge of scarcity. But whispers of transformation stir from across the channel. In the vast European heartland, where the Danube winds through fertile plains, a revolution has been brewing for centuries. The Neolithic way, farming, fixed homes, polished stone tools, has spread like ripples from the sun-baked cradle of the Near East. There, in the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates, villagers first tamed wheat and barley around 9000 BC, herding goats and sheep into pens under mud brick roofs. By 4500 BC, as Mesopotamian traders paddle reed boats laden with obsidian and copper, the potter's wheel spins clay into vessels in budding towns like Eridu, where temples rise as ziggurats piercing the sky. Farther south, along the Nile's life-giving bend, pre-dynastic Egyptians at Nabta Playa aligned stones to track the solstice sun, their cattle cults foreshadowing pharaonic grandeur. In the east, at Mergar, in the Indus foothills, artisans smelt copper and etch beads from lapis lazuli, while Chinese villagers in the Yellow River Valley paint intricate pottery with swirling motifs, domesticating millet under thatched eaves. These distant innovations do not crash upon Britain's shores like invading fleets. They arrive gently, carried by curious migrants in sturdy oak boats. Around 4100 BC, families from the continent, descended from Balkan farmers who themselves inherited the agricultural flame, step onto pebbled beaches in southeast England and Wales. Genetic echoes in ancient bones reveal a profound shift. The Mesolithic natives, with their dark hunter's eyes and lithe frames adapted to wild feasts, fade almost entirely, replaced by these newcomers whose DNA carries the mark of continental domestication. Perhaps driven by population pressures or the allure of untamed lands, these pioneers number in the thousands over decades, fanning out like seeds on the wind. For Britain's first farmers, the island becomes a canvas of possibility. They slash and burn the oak-dominated woodlands with axes of gleaming polished flint, imported jadeite blades from alpine quarries, symbolizing their craft. Smoke curls skyward as girdled trees fall, revealing chalky downs and clay-rich valleys ripe for the plough, though oxen-drawn ploughs lie centuries ahead. Wheat and barley, emmer and einkorn take root in loamy soils, tended by hands calloused from hoeing. Herds of humped cattle low in makeshift corrals, their milk and meat a steady bounty, joined by woolly sheep and grunting pigs rooting in forest edges. No longer chasing elusive game, these communities cluster in long houses of timber and wattle, thatched with reed, where hearths flicker through evenings of storytelling. Pottery emerges too. Round-bottom bowls coiled from local clays, sometimes adorned with twisted chord impressions, holding porridges of ground grain, or stews simmered with wild garlic. Yet this bounty demands ritual, a way to honor the ancestors who bridged worlds. By 4000 BC, as fields yellow under summer sun, the first monumental whispers appear. Causewayed enclosures, vast rings of earth banks interrupted by deliberate gaps, encircle sacred groves on hilltops like Windmill Hill in Wiltshire. Here, communities gather for feasts, trading axes and amber, burying the dead in segmented ditches that cradle offerings of deer antler and boar tusks. These are not fortresses, but thresholds, places where the living commune with spirits, perhaps to ensure the rains, or appease earthbound gods. In the Cotswolds and along the Severn, long barrows begin to mound over timber chambers, elongated tombs, mimicking the great houses of the dead. At sites like Hazleton North, bodies are laid in fetal poses, sprinkled with red ochre, wrapped in birch bark, their graves sealed with sarsen slabs. These barrows dot the landscape like earthen spines visible for miles, binding families to the land they now claim. From Britain's misty isles, the gaze turns outward again. While Ubaid merchants in Mesopotamia weave vast irrigation canals to feed burgeoning cities, and Vincha villagers in the Balkans etch proto-symbols on tablets, the seeds of writing, British farmers gaze at the same stars. The Milky Way arches identically over Orkney's windswept cliffs as over Egypt's pyramids to be. Trade trickles in. Obsidian from distant Anatolia, perhaps via European kin, sharpens their blades. But isolation tempers innovation. No wheels turn here yet, no metals gleam. Instead, a profound ecology unfolds. Pollen cores from lake beds show forests yielding to grassland. Hazel copses giving way to arable fields. A human hand reshaping the wild into the tended. Challenges shadow this dawn. Wetter climates around 4000 BC flood lowlands, while soil exhaustion prompts woodland regrowth in forgotten corners. Communities, now hundreds strong, in fertile Wessex or the Yorkshire wolds, navigate feuds over grazing rights or ritual prestige, their polished axes doubling as symbols of status. Women grind querns into flour, their arms strong from the millstone's turn. Men fell trees and quarry stone, forging bonds in communal labor. Children learn the lore of seeds and seasons, the chants for solstice fires. In this forge of permanence, inequality stirs faintly, chiefs with finer axes, tombs richer in grave goods, yet equality lingers in shared feasts. As the millennium closes, Britain's Neolithic tapestry weaves tighter. The monuments multiply, precursors to Avebury's colossal rings and Stonehenge's sarsens, erected in the centuries ahead. This era plants not just crops, but the roots of settlement, ceremony, and story. From hunters' fleeting trail to farmers' enduring furrow, 4500 to 4000 BC marks the island's awakening, a bridge from wilderness to world builder, echoing the global chorus of humanity's great leap.